Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to episode 33 of the SFC interviews. Here with Robin Trott today. So how are you, Robin? How's things been on your end, obviously through COVID and the pandemic and everything that's been happening?
All good. You know, we've been good. We've worked through COVID. Sort of gone down as a key worker. Lots have, and we've kept busy all the way through. I don't think we had a day off even at weekends. So yeah, been very busy. Just been strange times. I'm sure everyone you've interviewed has said the same things. Strange and probably still stranger out there now.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said there, everyone has said it really. I don't think there's anyone that hasn't said about, the whole COVID situation and the fact it's been a very difficult time for everybody involved, whether it's, people that are in business or ex-players or whoever it is, really. Everyone's just, got to do something to keep them occupied, keep them busy and, keep them on the straight and narrow and that, yeah.
I think everyone's probably priorities have changed and maybe what they want out of life, and maybe looking at not the money side of things, maybe looking at better way of life, maybe thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get really straight into it. So you signed for the club from Welling United. So what was it that attracted you to Stevenage in the first place?
The stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Paul Fairclough. At the time, I had a few offers. I had a good season. I was at Hong Kong, come back from Hong Kong, only doing a year there. Done pretty well. Went down Welling, big culture shock. Welling's a great club, and but facilities wasn't that great. But we had a good season down there, and we had Russian Diamonds come in. I think we had Woking come in. Jeff Chappell, who just left, and I think went to Kingstonian. Obviously, great deals there, and obviously Stevenage come in. But Kevin Howes, who was down Welling at the time, had a bit of a rapport with Paul Fairclough, who was a great manager, who had the utmost respect for, and maybe could have done a bit better for him in my career. He sold me the dream, as you do when you're a manager.
Yeah,
and took me around the club, and instantly loved it and loved the way they were going. I thought it was great development.
And you just mentioned there that you could have signed for Woking or Rushden and Diamonds. They're massive rivals as well, so it could have worked out completely differently for you in the end.
Yeah. Well, Rushden was my mum was a bit ill at the time. Well, she had multiple sclerosis, so didn't really want to leave too far from home.
Yeah,
my sister had a newborn, which was sort of the first child in the family. So Rushden Diamonds would have been a move away, and sort of 2.5 hours from where I was living at the time. So Stevenage was doable. You could travel and back, no problem. But looking back at the time, I think 4 times a week we was doing. I would hate to say how many miles I clocked up over the time I was there. If you was doing our miles, I don't know how far I'd get around the world. It was a long journey, too many times, but I had such an enjoyable time there. It was a big highlight of my career, for what was my career.
That's right. And then you mentioned there in regards to playing under Paul Fairclough as well. So what was he like to play under as well?
Very psychological was Paul. A lot of not mind games, very evolution. Worked under Wenger as a scout. I think he was in South America at the time, and brought some new techniques. Obviously, everyone's up to date with it now, but obviously the mind is a big thing, and obviously your diet is as well. So where previously we was before, you wouldn't really take too much notice. Paul enforced some laws where I think 2 hours after every game you couldn't have a beer. If you did, you got fined.
Oh,
You'd
really?
all sit down, have a meal. You'd have a juice and replenish what you'd lost. See, because you had a game on the Saturday, you had a game on the Monday night. Then you had that extra day.
Yeah.
So if you was unfortunate to be an older person, and the oldest side of the spectrum, you would need that Tuesday. But with the Monday, very hard going if you had to compete again then.
And, you know, you in that squad as well, you played alongside Mark Smith when Mark was put in as your centre-back partner. So what was it like playing alongside Smudger as well?
Yeah, Smudger's is a great character. He's a cool cat. Maybe underestimated, should have done better. I think in hindsight, you always look at your career. It's always easy to say you should have done better. I suppose you've had many a footballer say that as well. We all should have done better. Yeah, I think he was definitely up there. Maybe definitely Championship. Would he have touched Prem? I think he had the capabilities. Reading of the game, very fast off the ball, a lot of power, still fast. He was incredible playing. Probably developed me as a player as well.
Okay, and then you made your debut for the club there against Yeovil Town as well. Do you remember much about that game and the build up for that for yourself as well when you kind of knew you were in contention for a place in the squad?
Yeah, I think we had a good start. Because I think when I came there, I think Cloughie put me as captain straight away.
Yeah,
I was age of 22. I'd like to say I was old enough, or wise enough, I should say, responsible enough to take such a responsibility. But he gave me that the armband, and I think we had a great start. I remember what we done. I think we had about 5 or 6 wins on the road. Then we sort of crashed a little bit. But can I remember the game? No, the answer is no, not at all.
All right. Well, we actually lost that game. We lost 2-1 at home. Was it at home, if I remember rightly? Well, we lost 2-1 anyway.
Oh, did we? Oh, so I'm wrong. That must be with another manager. We had a good
I think I've got a note of that as well. But we'll kind of go into the main talking points and the main topic now, which, of course, is that Newcastle and the FA Cup run. So what are your memories of that famous FA Cup run starting back in 1997 there with us drawing 0-0 against Cole Shorten and then winning the replay and going on to play Cambridge and, Swindon as well.
Swindon, yeah. Well, it just shows you what a crunch match that was, that first Cole Shorten tie was. I don't think we played at all. Obviously, we played them, I think it was away where we drew. Was that right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 0-0 away. Yeah.
Did we beat 5-0 at home?
Yeah, quite convincing. Yeah.
I think that's my first FA Cup goal for me. They had a rear post. Yes, so I think probably I remember the game. Memory's not as good as it used to be. That's all. But no, it was, I think stepping stones. I think we had a good togetherness with the team. It was all pretty young, probably a little bit naive, but we was a unit. And I think, obviously, with Paul behind you, backing you, and Neil as number 2, we had we had a good set, we had a good chance to do well at something, whether it be FA Cup or the league. The FA Cup was great, but obviously we never won the league, so never got to taste it, which is quite hard. But no, we had a good so fine. I think we had Cambridge. I think we beat Cambridge
after a replay as well. Yeah.
We had them at home to beat 2-1 maybe. Obviously, then we had the Swindon.
Yeah, 2-1.
Which was a fantastic result. I think maybe the wind and the rain, and I think that
I think it helped us, didn't it? Yeah,
it did. Yeah, it did. We could play the way we wanted. But remember, Desi in goal, kicking that ball, and it reached the 18-yard box and just came back.
Yeah, and came back. I remember that very well as well. Yeah.
Comical moments,
And that was when they scored, wasn't it? I think that was how they scored their goals. When they got their goal through that.
Yeah. I think was it Jason Solomon? It was
Solomon scored for us, and who got the other one? I can't remember. Was it
Bratzy or was it?
Might have been
Stuart Beaver. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who got the second, but I was on about their goal because I think Des kicked it and it kind of came back, and I think it was their striker. Was it John Walters who put it in?
John Walters, yeah. They had a great team, didn't they? Great team.
Was it John Walters or Steve Walters, something like that? Yeah.
Steve Walters, yeah. Just, the team they had was a great team. Just to play Swindon was such a big event and a great money spinner for the club.
Yeah.
Obviously, more money comes in, less pressure for everyone. More, more we can develop for the next year, more money in the pot. But no, good for us and good learning curve and building blocks for us.
And, did you actually go to Swindon feeling like you could actually get a result there? Of course, they were first division at the time. There you go, Matt's put the message there.
Yeah, I think
Grazioli got the winner against Swindon. There we go.
Oh, Grazie got the winner. Yeah, Grazie. Yeah, there's a surprise. I think. Yeah, do you know what? I think with the backing of Paul Fairclough behind you, I think you have a lot of ups and downs in your manager, but I think when you leave, you do steady the ship. You work it out. Everything settles down. And I think it was a great manager to play under. I think with the backing of Paul behind you, and it was very scientific at the time. We brought a couple of gurus in.
Yeah,
we were doing a lot of work after training with the flipboard and going through a lot of things. We were just frying stuff out. And the big one was obviously belief, and that sort of carried us through. So I think we thought we was invincible with the backing of Paul.
And how difficult was it to stay focused ahead of the league games and the FA Trophy games? Because we had Chesham, Halifax, and Hereford, and then we had Newcastle coming to Broadhall Way as well. So how difficult was it for the players to kind of stay focused on those games? Because obviously you guys didn't want to get injured and miss that big opportunity, did you?
No, I think it's very difficult. I'd say the most difficult thing about it is probably you've got all that going on.
Yeah.
You've got a tight schedule of games. Very busy. They're trying to cram them in. Plus you've got your family life and you've got to work.
Yeah.
You're a part-time footballer. So in hindsight, I think it was nigh impossible to concentrate in the FA Cup, concentrate in the league and the FA Trophy. Yeah. Even though I think we beat Gateshead away, didn't we, in the FA Trophy that year?
That's right, yeah.
Which was a great result, because it was just before the Newcastle game. So it was a little taste of what was to come. Obviously, we suffered in the league that year. I think if we sort of come 6th, 7th, 8th in the league, it would have been that a bit better. But I don't want to talk in the negative, but for me that season, I think we ended up something like 14th.
Yeah, it was just below mid-table,
Yeah, I think it was a bit sour grapes, because it was the FA Cup was so great. But obviously, you got your bread and butter with the games every Saturday, every Monday. All them fans, a few thousand fans are going, so they're paying their money, and we just couldn't give them that little bit more. But I think you're always looking for improvement. But no, it was very lucky and humble to have that experience.
And in the build-up to that Newcastle game as well, there was a lot of media attention, of course, with Kenny Dalglish being the main one as well, and all of that kind of kerfuffle around that with the ball that he sponsored and everything like that as well, even after the game. What was it like in that side of it, dealing with the media attention that was put on you as players as well?
Exhausting. I think everyone was on the bandwagon. Everyone was more or less had their spell on telly, radio. What else was there? There was spin-off shows, newspapers were going down, training on the pitch with I don't know about dozens, but there was a lot of media taking pictures, cameras rolling, which are training on the pitch. It was so surreal. Yeah, obviously big names like Dalglish and everyone else is just
Alan Shearer, of course, England international at the time.
You're just privileged to sort of be in that circle of people to be mentioned with. You only read about it in the paper, then all of a sudden you're in the paper. I was on the paper. I think it was Saturday morning before the game. I didn't even know I was going to be on it. I had a phone call. I remember I was speaking to Trevor Brooking on the phone at one of my girlfriend's house years ago. Rang their house. Who was it? Oh, it was Trevor Brooking, 5 Live. You're like, what? What is happening? Then someone rang up. There wasn't really many mobile phones around then, so contact was very difficult. And had the phone call. I'll go and get the newspaper. Run down, get the Sun. Open the, I'm like looking at the front, thinking, what are they talking about? Get back, turn it over, and you're back page of the Sun. You're like, oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah, you with the page 3 model or the model, whatever it was, and painting there in the Borough kit. Yeah, the Borough colours.
Yeah, I was lucky. I'd love to say I knew what I was doing, but I was called to go to Wapping. Just to bring some overalls and a little bit of painting gear. I was there from 8 in the morning, and it was 4 in the afternoon. I thought, what the hell was going on here? I thought, all they kept saying is just wait.
Yeah.
I thought, what am I doing? I didn't even know what I was doing. All of a sudden, the girl phoned out, and I was like, oh my days, Well, it was worth the wait. Yeah, great memories. Great for the guys. Great for the families connected to, the players.
Yeah,
they were off. They were on it. My mum was in the Daily Mail and the local newspaper, which was very good for her. So it was good for everyone. Everyone got a piece of
we've got a message here from Matt as well. Them not wanting to play abroad full way. That was another one as well. And actually, we could have actually won that game as well. I know Raz obviously scored our goal, but we had the one that was disallowed for offside, and we had other chances as well.
We did, yeah. I think, you're talking about the Newcastle game at home.
Yeah.
I think we had a corner, didn't we? Come across the back post. I did it across. I think Trebs put it in.
That's right. Yeah.
And if you look at the replays, it should never have been disallowed. So really, in hindsight, we should have won the home game.
Mm-hmm.
We should have not played Newcastle away, but then we'd have played Tranmere in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Then we'd have beat them because we had Paul Fairclough behind us.
Yeah.
And we'd have had Arsenal. I think it was Arsenal in the final. That would have been us.
That would have been Stevenage and Arsenal. That would have been
Arsenal, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fancy our chances against
exactly. Matt's put it there. Was never offside, that goal. I completely agree with that as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, never offside. No. But
it was a good game, and of course going to Newcastle was great for the club as well, and the fans that actually got to go, and things like that. I was in school at the time and I wasn't allowed to go, so I was a little bit gutted. My dad went, but I wasn't allowed to go out of school and take the time off.
Oh, bless. There was I remember for the home game, which the fans would know. Obviously, you stand behind a goal, which I think you've got boxes and there's computer suites and everything behind, where the social club is. Obviously, that was turned into scaffolding, wasn't it? Which,
that's right.
Which seated a few thousand. So that was a pass, so that obviously the game could go ahead. Which we when after the game finished, we got knocked out of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
we wanted them to keep because it was so good to see. To have that crowd behind that stand, behind that goal was amazing. Obviously, it was taken down, and it was like. But
I remember the home game. I was at the home game, and I was there with, I think it was me, my dad, my brother, and my granddad who were there at the time. It was one of my granddad's first ever games he went to. He was an older man. He was probably in his 70s or whatever, 60s, 70s at that point. And that was probably one of the only times he went to watch a Borough game. Oh,
yeah. It's I think a lot of people come out for that one to support their local team. Obviously, it was on Sky as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I can't remember who the pundits was. I don't think I've ever watched the game really back fully, only a couple of highlights. But if anyone can remember who's watching, who the pundits were, I think my partner would love to say it's Jamie Redknapp, but I think he was still playing at the time.
He was still playing, yeah, he was still at Liverpool or Spurs, one of those,
yeah.
Probably even Spurs, actually. He might have even been that early on. He was probably with them.
We played them in a friendly a little while after that, and Jamie played.
Yeah.
In that game. Yeah. I remember because I was walking out the town and he was walking. We had a quick chat before we came on the pitch. So, it's memorable. But the achievement for the club was fantastic. And obviously later on they had the replay, didn't they, in Newcastle?
Mm-hmm.
When Alan Pardew was down there as manager of Newcastle. So we just want the Borough to do well. Obviously, we'd love to see him in a Premiership. Obviously, being away from football now, I only play vet football.
Yeah.
The Bow Street Runners, which is a police team.
Okay.
I don't get to see or cash up on the football so much. And I think a lot of footballers don't. I think because you've been over-processed with football so much.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes I think it's just you love your football, you always love it, but you've had so much of it. It's in and out. I remember every Sunday morning waking up, getting the non-league paper, see our game, see if you got a mention, by it. And I think you're all over-processed by football. You overdo it sometimes. So I don't generally keep an eye on the leagues.
Fair enough. We've got a message here from Matt as well saying that he skipped school that day for Newcastle away. It was a great day and the ball never crossed the line. Well, everybody knows that. And, we got our revenge eventually, Matt, back in 2011. So, justice, was there in the end.
That's right. Yeah. Smudge is famous for that. But he's so agile, isn't he? He was like a acrobatic line, wasn't it? But Yeah, see, would that come as VAR? Would that be VAR now?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and goal line technology, one of the two. And it's still either way wouldn't have the goal would have not stood. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they could sort of turn back the clock now and maybe do something technical, because obviously they're so much more advanced now. And maybe see if that ball did cross the line.
We know it didn't. It's fine. Whether they say it did or not, we know it didn't.
That's right.
Did you enjoy the revenge that Stevenage got over Newcastle in 2011? Did you see any of that?
Yes, we went back there. That must have been when we went back. I think we was called back.
Yeah.
All the old players for that. Yeah, we were there.
Mm-hmm.
You had, I think you had Barton in centre midfield, didn't you, for them at the time?
Yeah, he scored a cracking goal from about 35 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah. No, I was there for that. Yeah, that was good. I think they had a great team then. They had a good, like I said, togetherness, want to work hard. Obviously, they're full time, and the science of everything you eat has sort of been implicated.
Yeah.
And I think that team then would have probably beat our team of old. Definitely.
I think if you look at that game, we were 2-0 up as well, and then Newcastle got back into it, and then we went on and got the third right at the end. Who was it that scored? Peter Wynn scored, Michael Bostwick scored, and Stacey Long scored all of our goals in that game. And they were all decent finishes as well, really.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. But on a down though, I remember we got called off Clive at the commercial manager, Clive, isn't he? Lovely guy. And he said, "You're all go up there." So he didn't really know a lot about it. Didn't really speak to any of the players as well. So we've all gone up there, and so we've gone on the pitch and we've done a bit come off, and we're thinking we've got seats, and we didn't even have seats.
Oh, really?
We're gonna go. And they went, "Oh, you'll have to stay in the director's box."
Yeah.
So we stood in there and sort of go from there. So yeah, it was a funny turnout. But I don't think it was all about us. It was definitely all about that day. But it was good to catch up. And obviously we had the Borough reunion, didn't we?
Yeah.
For the Newcastle, which was great to catch up with them players. Lovely to see Paul Fairclough then as well. I think we've all aged. I think he's aged gracefully, Paul. Very great now. But it'd be good to go out there again. Been a few years now.
And apparently the first goal that Stevenage got on that day, the 3-1, went down as an own goal. Okay. So let's have a look on here. So we spoke about that in regards to the bit of you on the newspaper. What was it like walking out onto the pitch and knowing you're up against, an England international and Alan Shearer?
Well, I think it's not only just Alan Shearer. I think it's a whole lot in it. Walking out at Newcastle. I think I've told the story before, but one of the directors, forget his name, wasn't Mick Shilton, he was another guy, lovely guy. He had one of his children's only young, like kind of 5 years of age. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if it was there. Was it just under 40,000?
Oh, I think we've lost your signal, have we, Rob?
Sorry.
It's all right. I think we might have lost your signal briefly. I can hear you anyway. That's all right.
I'll be back on. I had an incoming call.
That's all right.
I will come back on. I don't know why I'm not on there. Should I tap that?
That's fine. That's all right. We can still hear you anyway. So okay. What were you saying about the Newcastle game?
Before the game, obviously I was captain. Robert Lee, captain for them. Obviously, we all get together. And I remember that child was only so young, and I was so nervous as well. Obviously, going up there, big stage, Sky Sports as well, coverage to the world really. And I didn't do my normal warm up, so where you have your own preparation, you do your own thing, and you do it religiously what you do. Mm-hmm. And I just stayed with the child for the whole duration. Little bit of warm up, ball, just didn't leave him. So I thought, oh my God, it was like scary up there, So stayed with him, and then you go to the centre swap, toss the coin, brought him there, then obviously run off with them as well. Mm-hmm. And he came up to me afterwards, said, "I was so scared, like how they'd be." He said, "You've done so well," because obviously so young. Normally, you when you got your mascot, you just run off and you can do your own thing. But
absolutely,
it'd have been too much for that game, and I would hate to be left there. So I had to you got to look after them. So, yeah, I didn't really realise at the time, but it was probably comfort for me. I think they were looking after me as well at the same time.
Fair enough. But no, that was obviously really, quite different for you guys. Obviously, going against those kind of Premier League opposition and internationals as well. So, how was it for you to, because you were actually centre back as well, and Alan Shearer was one of the main ones that you were up against as well. It was you and Smudger basically marking him, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, incredible. Yeah, he's not too tall. I don't know, is he 6 foot? Maybe just under 6 foot. But yeah, the vision, and the movement of the ball is incredible. Strong guy as well. Try and get it off the feet. Can't get near him really.
Yeah.
But obviously detrimental for us when a ball goes in, he peels off. So we just, because you've got to sort of half stand his side, but you've got to face forward, and you have your one look. As soon as you look forward to that ball is pulled off, he gets in a couple of yards, and that's what's made him top goal scorer in the league of all time. And such a great forward, but pleasure to mark with all the hoo-ha at the time. Well worth it. You'd have had a bit more hoo-ha. You'd do anything to mark Alan Shearer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. On the back of that defeat to Newcastle as well, we went on a pretty decent run in the league, actually, only losing 1 in 8 games. So did the Newcastle game there give you the confidence that you could go on and get a result against anyone?
Yeah, it did. But I don't know. I think with that Newcastle, I think we sort of, as a club, we made it. As a team.
Yeah.
I think I think we thought, we've made it, and I think we just took our eye off the ball. I think it did, but I think we was overconfident. I think that was our failure, really. I think we was overconfident. I think we was confident in games and the build-up, maybe the games before.
Yeah.
But I think it was detrimental for us that, and I think that was, like I say, that was the low point. Was obviously after that spell we lost a few games, and I think our confidence went and didn't know where we was really. And as a team, I think we sort of become jagged and didn't really flow. So yeah, it wasn't the results we needed afterwards. So yeah, great as it was, there was still a low that season.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we, as I said there, we actually had a decent run of results afterwards. But it was after those 8 games where there was the little blip, and we kind of slipped down the table a bit, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah,
I think we had quite a young team, and I was very young, and very difficult to probably take it all in. Like, look at these pros now. I don't know how they cope. It's they're in the spotlight, and obviously you've got phones, you've got the media, you've got the 2 English guys just been sent home.
Yeah, Foden and Greenwood.
Yeah, you can't. There's no stone left unturned. You cannot. We're not robots. We can do what we can do. But it's very tough for a professional, especially at the top level. Different. Even Premiership to England is a big step, I suppose. So, I don't know how we'd handle it now. That team in the spotlight now, I don't know how you'd handle it. I think things would have been done differently. But like I say, I think we was quite advanced with Paul Fairclough at the time.
And in regards to that, was your first season at the club. So in the second season, you started in the 1-0 win over Barrow. So, the 2 teams meet again this weekend. It's Barrow against Stevenage this coming Saturday in the first game of the League 2 season. So how do you see both teams getting on this year? Stevenage in particular, we were talking about it off stream that they had the reprieve, and some people would even say they're a bit fortunate to still be in League 2 at the moment.
Yeah, it's a hard one for Stevenage, isn't it? Because, obviously football's a business, and if you've got a good player and you need the revenue, you've got to sell the player, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that, but obviously as a fan, you don't want to see that. But you need fans coming for the game, so you need them to get the season to be a season ticket holder, or buy on the door. So, I think Stevenage are always going to be where they are. I think unless you had a guy come in, from Kuwait or wherever, absolute spending to the hill, I think it'll always sort of be that level, But I think for them to do what they've done already, and the development of the training pitches, that ground setup up there, obviously what they've got going down in Stevenage Borough, I think they have developed and sort of maintained it.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, mate, just going in there as well. When Wesley was there, of course, the club got promoted out of the conference and then went on the run and got promoted out of League Two as well via the playoffs, and even got to the playoffs in League One, and could have even got promoted there if Wesley hadn't left at that point and decided to move on to Preston. That was, the club really were punching above their weight a bit then, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Obviously, you go so high, you need the backing, you need the money, don't you?
Yeah.
The money talks. If the money's not in, it's very difficult. And yeah, they've done. I think they're doing very. I think they're on the right road. I'm sure somebody could come up, and they'll get another team that's very together. As long as they can still get the young players in, and if they have to sell them, they've got to sell them. It is a business, The people on the board, and that it is, they want their team to do well, but they have to sacrifice a few players to maybe build that new stand or, build that new burger hut or, do the change rooms again, put a new gym in for the players, which is state of the art, or do the training ground. You need that revenue and money, especially.
I was just going to say it's a lot better now than back then because we were a league club, pretty established league club as well. In fact, now we've been in the league for I think 8-9 years, and it's basically we can we've got that about us now. We're still in League Two. We were in League One for 3 seasons as well when we got promoted out of League Two into League One. The club is on the rise. It had a little blip recently with, dropping down to League Two again and finishing bottom of League Two and getting the reprieve last season. But I think, the squad's looking in good shape. It's got Alex Ravel, a young, hungry manager, Lenny Lawrence there helping him out as well. So I think the club are actually back onto, having that kind of winning mentality. And, we got a 3-3 draw against Portsmouth the other day as well. And only narrowly lost that in the cup, the Carabao Cup. We lost that on penalties, and I think that that's going to set us in good stead because in that game we were 2-0 up, we were 3-1 up, and I think Alex Ravel, yes, he's got a lot to maybe teach them defensively, and maybe they've got a few things to learn in that aspect. But they're scoring goals, and they scored 3 goals early on, and it took about 7 or 8 games to score the first 3 goals of last season. In any competition, and they've got it in one game this year, so it's an improvement already.
Yeah, it's it's what you want to see. Every fan wants to see pretty football, don't they? And when I was down Margate, we had a great team. We took a lot of players with Liam Daish, who went full time. So we had obviously I played down there for a bit, so we could get the Steve McKims and Pov Rose and Jay Saunders. Obviously we had Danny Otson there. We had a great team. So yeah, it's just getting a balance. But I think looking at Stevenage as a whole, I think it's a success what they've gone through, and they're only on the up. Like I say, what they've got now, what they had been. I think even if they drop down to Division 2, it doesn't matter. I know no one wants to see them come bottom, of course.
Yeah.
But they've got reprieve. They'll kick on. It sounds like they're going to do well. They've got the foresight to do what they can do, and I think they're successful. I do think they're successful.
Right, we've got a message here from Paul Armstrong as well. Played for you. Love Trotty, great character in the dressing room, and as a young lad coming through into the first team, made me feel like one of the lads from the very start. Hopefully you're doing well as well, he said there.
Yeah, Paul's there. Yeah, it's funny, Paul. Good lad. Yeah, we had a lot of young players coming through. I think he's got a bit of Irish in Paul, if I remember rightly. We had, the good thing about our team, there were no levels. I was captain, doesn't matter. We had 11 captains out there on the pitch. Bit of a thing to say, but that's how it was. Young boys, we want to encourage them. We wanted to develop them, and we was all one. At the time, I wasn't earning a great deal of money, and we're all trying to get there. So we're all trying to go the same direction. But no, Paul's a good lad, and he was in and amongst it definitely in that time. And it's good for him to say, we had good characters, and they would have all embraced him, and they had a good crack with him at the time.
And he put a message there as well saying, love playing with you, and Also, he said he met up with you after you both left. He was playing for Boreham Wood against Margate when you were playing for them as well.
Yeah. He's a very quick player and a good quick feet. And obviously, you don't get to see these players after they've gone off. I don't know where he went after that, but I hope he done well. Mm-hmm. He had the capability of doing it. Definitely, very fast little player. But you meet so many players, didn't you, along the way? Mm-hmm. And I remember Paul very well. He was a good lad. Obviously the Paul Fairclough era as well.
He said they beat you.
Yeah, they probably scored against me. If I was there. No, I don't think we had very good things at Boreham. I think we always done well. I don't think we like to travel away. I think we just like playing at home, to be fair.
When you were playing for Margate.
Yeah. I was manager for a couple of years.
I saw that as well. We've got a message here from Dan as well, saying about fortunate to be in League Two. Do you still speak to Paul Fairclough? Do you still speak to your old gaffer there?
No, I don't. The only people I sort of still speak to is probably Neil Treble now and again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's still back up there. I don't speak to anyone really. Just Sam Sodgy. I'm very close with one of my best friends. Mm-hmm. Time. He's that close. He's took one of my trucks at the moment.
Oh, is it? You got one of your trucks out today?
He's loving that at the moment.
Yeah,
we have a lot of banter, but Paul's great lad, and great fella. He's not a lad, he's a man. I've said, but his wife was lovely. His whole family's great. It was good era, but no, I don't speak to Paul anymore. But if we did Golf Society Day, or I think Stevenage Borough still got their society.
Yeah.
For the fans, they still do the charity matches and that. If he turned up, I'd gladly go. But no, great fella. He's probably like a Jackie Cholton. You know Jackie Cholton, obviously.
Yeah, of course. He's not too long. Yeah.
I remember he turned up at the club, and I was early, and Clive upstairs said, "Oh, Trotty." He said, go upstairs, have a look at one of the boardrooms. What are we talking about? He went, no, go and have a look. Go on, you'll be surprised. So I went up there and I looked in, Jackie Cholton having some lunch. So I went, go. So I knocked on the door, he went, come in. So I ended up having lunch with Jackie Cholton.
Oh, lovely. That's pretty cool. That's a good one.
How mad is that? And I said, what are you doing? He said, he was doing a talk over the social club. Mm-hmm. I had an hour with him. But it was a great moment to have an hour of my life.
Paul's put in there as well. That was a great era to be involved in. Question from Matt: who was your best mate at the Borough?
No, it's probably going to be Neil Treble if I didn't say that. Yeah, it would have been Trebs. We spent a lot of time together, but we had 4 or 5 big characters in there. Smudger, we was all out together. But no, it was definitely Neil. It was definitely Neil. We had very similar banter, and big lad, and big heart, big character. He was a good player. It was just, like I said, there was no clicks in that team. No clicks whatsoever. We was, like I say, was all on the same level. I think that's what united us as a team. And obviously we had a lot of drinking then as well. Was carried out a lot, which was not very good. But look, when you look at it, Steve Bruce could do it when he was at was it Gillingham? Then he went on and he was doing it at Man United. Yeah. I think we look at, if he could do it, we could do it, but it didn't end up the same. I was no Steve Bruce, believe me.
So we've got some more questions here as well. I'll go to that one from Matt in a minute. But you scored the winner in the 1-0 away victory over Northwich Victoria. So what were your memories of that game? Do you remember much about that? And, the fact that you scored the winner as well?
I can't remember it. I can't remember it.
Yeah. That was one where you scored one of the winning goals. So what was that like for you, to score some goals for the club as well? I know you were more...
I always try to average out about 5 a season.
Yeah.
I think my last season, obviously I didn't do it because I wasn't playing. Wesley came in and just didn't feature a lot of them. But normally about 5 goals a season. So to score away is great, but to score at home was magical. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was. If you imagine a guy, only young player I was, going from Welling. I think I was only on £70 a week at Welling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, £70 a week, and I was only sort of labouring at the time. I was decorating, just moving into the decorating. So obviously, just come out of full-time football for 5, 6 years, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was but still wanted to get back into professional football. Stevenage was a magical place. That ground was a magical place. So I think on a weekday, I think we're still getting 3,000 or 4,000 crowd.
Yeah, which is really good. Yeah.
You know, down Margate, not being bad. A home game on a big match, you're lucky to get 1,000. That's on a local derby. So I think it was a pleasure to play in such a stadium with such a manager, you know, with such supporters. It was fantastic. They would give you another 20% just to go out on that pitch.
And you mentioned about derby games there as well. What was it like playing in the derby games over when we played Woking?
God, blimey, it was tough. I remember, Richard Hill, I think it was. I had problems with my groin, and obviously I didn't know I had a hernia, and they thought it was pubic symphysitis. It's called. Just a lot of rugby players get it, and it's a bone that grinds. The pubic bone that grinds. There's meant to be a little bit of I think cartilage in the middle. Obviously, it wears down. They thought I had that, but didn't. I had double hernia.
Oh,
so
wow.
I had the dreaded Gilman's groin. So I remember I played as long as I could. Keith Allinson, actually, the physio at the time, we went to the Watford physio, and he diagnosed it and sorted it out, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if I was going to retire at an early age. Anyway, so under Richard, I think I'm sure it's Richard, not Wayne Turner. I think it was 4 weeks to the day that they said, right, Trotty, we've got to have you back. We've got Woking away. We need you back.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, the pain was unbelievable. But got through the game. I think we won 1-0 away.
Yeah, we won. Yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah, really, you know, you go through the pain to get that win, don't you? But then after that, I came back too soon. So I developed scar tissue in my inguinal canals, which Keith Allinson had to break down with his little finger, sticking them up the canal. It doesn't look too good. Didn't feel too good. I had to put a stick in my mouth and endure the pain before training and after training, before a game and after a game, to break down the tissue. It was the only way of getting rid of the pain. So I had that for about 3-4 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was hard. That was one of the hardest bits in football for me.
And you know, I was just going to say there, in regards to Woking and those derbies as well, is the double over Woking, is it better than winning the league for you guys as well?
No, I don't think so. Winning the league would be everything, wouldn't it? Because I think we always chase that dream to be pro. Again,
that was the song at Stevenage. It was or the little chant that we used to have was the double over Woking is better than winning the league.
No. Obviously, Woking was such a big game. Obviously, it was Jeff Chappell down there then.
Yeah.
Jeff Chappell, who had a great managerial career. Really did the same as Paul Fairclough. That was his main clubs. But no, it was good to play at Woking. I think you had a big new main stand, didn't you, there?
That's it, yeah.
That was a big thing for the league to have that time. And their pitch was always lovely, always a nice pitch. And they always had a great team about them. Did they play? It was black and white they played in, didn't they? Woking, was that right?
Black and white. Or red and white, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely winning the league would be better than doing a double over Woking. Definitely.
All right, fair enough. We'll move on a little bit now. So in your third season, you started off fantastically there, being a part of the back line who didn't concede in the opening 5 games. So, you know, what was that like to be able to keep the opposition at bay? And, you know, were you given sort of any bonuses there for clean sheets and stuff as well?
I doubt it. Everything was always pretty tight. It was a tight ship up in Stevenage. No, just obviously you defend from the front, didn't you? So I think we all had a part to play with that. I think Des Gallagher in goal. You had Richard as well, who was sort of coming in the standby. Yeah. But I think the whole thing, you had Jamie March, obviously. Yeah, we had Smudger, me. James Dillon for a bit on the right.
Yeah, right back. Yeah.
Who was, I thought, was prolific for his age as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the midfield. Obviously, I think if you win the midfield, you win the game, didn't you? In a football match, so probably in the midfield, stopping a lot of play. Jason Solomon and the rest of them.
Beaver, yeah.
Beaver, yeah.
Michael Love, was he in there as well?
Clarkey, we had for a bit.
Yeah.
Cool, going back a long way.
But Sam McMahon was in that team, wasn't he, for a while with you as well?
Sam McMahon, yeah, he's a great.
Injuries at Stevenage, didn't he, as well? When I spoke to him, and I think the second one was Wesley said to him, that he's got to basically fork out for his own treatment.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember him getting that one. And I remember as well, because I remember when the Adidas blades come out. Do you remember when the Adidas blades come out?
Yeah.
But that was causing a lot of cruciate ligament injuries because they were getting stuck in the ground. So it would jar the knee. Then after, I think that season, Paul Thompson, the forward, who was at that era as well, he done his knee as well in a game.
Yeah, because Paul was from Newcastle, from Gateshead, wasn't it? And he missed out on that game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He was a good lad again, Paul. But I think the season after they banned the blades down the ground.
Yeah,
because they were just getting stuck in the ground all the time. But Sam, when he first came down, Sam, what a player he was! What a player! So cultured in the middle, fantastic. He was really like a little Iniesta, a little Silva, that sort of player. And he never sort of recovered after that injury. I think it's a make or break you, really. I think he'd done his rehab well. I don't know if Keith Ellenson was down at the time. He might have been. But he really worked hard. But I don't know, it's a big blow. It's a big blow. I think we're doing that crest of a wave and you're trying to, and you're going and you're playing well. You just need that little bit of luck to get that move. Or you do really well for the rest of that season. I think that was a big stumbling block for Sam. It was a shame.
And one of your ex-teammates is in as well, Carl Alford, great guy and player. Apparently, you still owe him a tenner. He told us to come on this coming weekend.
You're allowed to, yeah, Carl. Carl wasn't. Well, he'll tell you himself he was a prolific player, Carl. Talk about belief. He was a great player, Carl. He must have been terrible to mark. What an handful, what a lump. Powerful and horrible player as well at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like nastiness side to him. But great guy off the pitch, funny. We had a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
With all of us, obviously. He was northern, wasn't he? A lot of northerners come down. We had a great time. Yeah, Cole was a great fella. And maybe should have done better as well, because he had all the attributes to really push on and scored a hell of a load of goals.
He scored a lot at Stevenage and he scored in that FA Trophy game as well against Stevenage for Yeovil. When Yeovil beat 2-0. Yeah.
He did, yeah. That was that was at the Aston Villa, wasn't it?
Yeah, over at Villa, yeah.
Yeah, and the other player as well, great player. They both played up front. Kurt Markham. They I didn't have a particularly good game day. I think I was exhausted from the hype. But they really hot day, yeah. They played brilliant, the pair of them.
With him and Adam Stansfield was the other striker that was up front with him, yeah.
Yeah, I think he scored one off me. I think Cole went up for a header, flicked it off, and then Stansfield got behind me, put the ball in the back of the net. So, yeah, good player, Cole. What a good player. And I wish him all the best if he's listening.
He's there, and hopefully he'll be on as well at the weekend. So, what was it like combining playing alongside, your other career as well, in the painting and decorating side of it?
Well, yeah, we've done a lot at the time. I was sort of forced into having my own company at the age of 22. So we had 3 or 4 of us at such a young age, but hard to balance, hard to juggle. But you look at life, whether you become a player, whether you become a manager, and you've got a playing career of whatever it's going to be, 15, 20 years. Yeah. Obviously, manager, you're not going to be a manager forever, are you? So
no, for sure, yeah.
You've got to make that decision whether, when you've got family, you've got kids, you've got a mortgage, whether you're going to sustain that as being a manager and having a gamble, or if you do push on with your company. So, yeah, it's balancing then, but I don't think you can work the two. I think you've got to do one or the other. So, obviously, now we've got the company. I'm better doing that.
Fair enough. So, in your penultimate season, we just mentioned it there briefly in regards to the getting to the FA Trophy final at Villa Park. So, what are your memories of that run? And do you believe that we could have gone on to win that? Do you think that, on the back of getting all the way to the final there, we're, taking it a little bit lightly in the final? And obviously, Yeovil, we're beating us on the day.
Do you know what that over the team? I think our final, we played, was it Morecambe? We played them home, played them away?
The semis, I think, yeah.
Yeah, in the semis, yeah. I think we had the 2 leg, and I think we beat them away. I think, really, looking back, that was our final. I think we played unbelievable at Morecambe. I think we played brilliant. And I think, looking back in it, I think that was probably our final before the final. I think the Yeovil team there at the time was prolific. Did they have Terry Skiven at the back as well?
Yeah, he was captain. Yeah.
He was captain. They had a great team. Great, the lovely stadium down is sort of similar than Stevenage. And I think, I don't know, I always had a routine where I had not a lot of time. So I'd go from work, go to football, nearly be late, but I wouldn't have time to reflect. Before that, I think we had 2 or 3 days off. We stayed at a golf course, which was one of the golf courses with a hotel. So it was all singing, all dance. It was a great hotel. I had too much time to reflect. I think if I would have went into that game, my own routine, gone to work the day before, probably done a bit of work in the morning, then gone to the game, I think I'd have played well. I think I was exhausted by the hype. I really do. I went into the game, I was knackered. I was gone. It was too much of an occasion. Obviously, we had we all had to line up before the game. Obviously, all in the sky. National anthem, which was new to me.
Yeah,
it's a big thing. I think to do it week in, week out, I think you can sort of push that away. It was a big moment for us, but no, I think they fully deserved that. I think they had a great team at the time.
And what was it like by the result as well, going to play at Aston Villa and walk out at another ground there, and also not having it at Wembley as well? Was that a little bit disappointing?
It was. I think at the time we was trying to get. We was hoping it was going to be at the Millennium.
Okay, Cardiff,
yeah. But no, they decided Aston Villa. Listen, which was still amazing. I think we had 20,000 there. But I think even you looked in the crowd, it looked great because you had the red, you had the green. It was a beautiful sunny day. But no, listen, I'm lucky to play there and never take it for granted that we could take it. But obviously, if you play at Aston Villa, imagine what it's like playing all these big grounds all the time. I think you would probably take it lightly. But no, it's even though we lost, I think we had Wayne Turner.
That's it. He was manager at the time. Yeah.
He was a lovely fella. Maybe didn't have the rub of the green we wanted, but listen, when you're up against Skivs, you got Carl Alford up front, and
Adam as well, Adam Stansfield, the two of them.
Adam Stansfield were great, but I think he got moved after that.
Yeah, he did.
I probably helped him that move. I think it's you got rolled your round up and you think, they would. I think they slaughtered us that day. I think they just didn't beat us. I think, was it 2-0 they beat us?
2-0, yeah.
I think they slaughtered us really on paper.
All right. And then in the 2002-2003 season was your last season at the club. So how did you feel upon leaving Stevenage and moving on there? What was it like for you to leave the club and to move on? Was it did you have any sort of regrets at all upon leaving, or was it just kind of the right time?
I think the way you leave is a big important thing. I think if we left where you get a move or you're not playing well, then you can get a move. But I think the way, obviously, you have Wesley in charge, and the way we were sort of all pushed out the club, it wasn't acceptable. But that's just the way it was. Obviously, we've all got our own opinions, and I'll definitely voice mine. But we was always the same. We used to turn up on a Saturday. We would get drilled with training. So we'd have to turn up probably 11 o'clock in the morning. We'd have a day of it. And we worked our socks off, boxer size or whatever we'd done. It was intense. But no, I think, I don't know if we played Barrow away or someone away. And Wesley turned up with Steve Watson, who I sort of played a little bit of football now. He's a great guy, lives local in West Wickham. And a few of the other guys he brought down. We knew it was always going to get turned out. All the players were going to go. He was going to chip them in. So, yeah, I wish I left on better terms, really, because I'd like to go out on a high or try my best. But really, we left not even trying. So that was a bit of a bummer.
All right. And have you followed the club at all since leaving? Or you mentioned it really previously that once you left the club, it was kind of just you moved on to other clubs and management and into other business. So you didn't really focus on Stevenage at all, did you? You didn't really follow.
I did for a few years while I was still in the semi-professional game. We played at Billericay. I think we played Stevenage in the FA Cup. I think they beat us 1-0 at Billericay. When Justin was in charge, Justin and God bless his soul, who's died now.
Yeah.
I think they beat us 1-0. I think we should have beaten that day. But no, I did follow them while I was still sort of football career. But then after that, obviously, it's a weird thing. You've got mental health, and it is a big issue. That's probably when you talk to Carl next week or the weekend, he'll probably tell you himself. He probably had the same. It's very difficult. It's like the army. In the army, you got routine.
Yeah.
That's what you do every time with the football. 15, 20, 25 years you're doing it. All you know is you train that day or you play that day. You train that day and you've got the Saturday. All of a sudden it stops. And it is a big thing to try and cope. I had 6 months where it was on a Saturday and I felt like I had to go to jail. I felt like I should go to jail because I was doing something wrong. Because I wasn't going football on a Saturday. So it's difficult to adapt. So, I think the mental welfare in football players and in any sport, especially when you do it for a long period of time and it's quite stringent. I think, more of it's everyone's aware of it, the better, really, because I think there's more to it.
All right. We've got a question here from Giggsy as well. Did you ever play any pranks in the changing room, or were you on the receiving end of any pranks yourself?
I was always pranking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot going. Yeah, I only had it once to me, but I was always doing it to everyone else. Everyone was doing it. It was all it was constant. You had to watch it back all the time. There was a lot going on. Even when I was down Gillingham, even with YTS, there was a lot going on then. Obviously, I was just breaking in then, so you're turning from a boy into a man, and you had to man up quick. You got to sort yourself out. You're in the receiving end, so there were some big things that was happening down there. Stevenage, it was everywhere. So I didn't really get pranked. Only the once. Someone cut my socks up and my pants up. When I was on loan to Hastings as a prank, I just got bought for Christmas, but I was gutted about that. So I would always probably do it and then probably blame someone else. One of them.
Yeah. We've got a message in here as well. Just going into this from Neil Illman, best painter and decorator I know. Not a bad footballer either. Neil was another one that played alongside you.
Yeah, he's another great guy. Innocent, very nice. Not a bad bone in his body, Neil.
I spoke to Neil as well. Neil was one of the other ones I've spoken to already.
He come down with Graxy, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there, I think, yeah.
Because they were both at Peterborough at the time, or Barnet. Peterborough Barnet at the time. Nice guy, and in and around that era as well, of the Newcastle. But no, do you know what I think? As long as you get, if people say you're a nice guy, that's good enough, isn't it? Because there's plenty of bad things around in the world. So
definitely.
We had a lot of good characters, and I can honestly say all them players I played at Stevenage was a pleasure to play with.
We got a question there in the chat. It's actually one I've made a note of it on my little notes here as well. So what happened regarding your testimonial in the end?
I just didn't have it. Well, I had a consortium and we had a few things lined up, but it's a business. Like I say, it's a business, and never hold anyone to blame. But we was trying to get a pre-season match and we couldn't get one. We could only get one during the week, so I think my testimonial was still there if I won it. But do you know what? I'm not ruled around a pound, though. Never have been, never will be. And even if we done it, we give the money to charity. Do you know what I mean? that'd be a good gesture. So they did try and line some things up, but obviously we couldn't get what we want. So I think obviously it was part of my contract to have a testimonial, but I think in the end it would have been, I don't know, if we would have got Watford, don't know if it would have been Watford first team during the week, we'd have had a game. It's hard. We wouldn't have got a very good crowd. And it's like, do you know what? Is it worth it? Is it worth all the effort? And for all the consortium as well, because they'd have to do their bit. So, no. So, yeah, the answer is I don't know what's happening with testimony. It was still there, I believe, but I don't know if there's a time limit on it.
Maybe, yeah. So were you always a defender, or did you kind of play in any other positions as well?
Sort of started sort of centre midfield, then went sort of left midfield, and then sort of went left back down to Jules, and then they drafted me in the centre half, which I was like, oh God, I don't want to go in there because you get smashed up to bits.
Yeah.
I remember with some young managers then, Malcolm Machin, who was like youth development officer. I remember going over the park with Tony Butler, Paul Haig at the time, and it was just we was just in a park, so no training grounds, a park. It would just take you over there. It'd just be smashing balls up. He's just trying to hit them as far as you can. And we'd done that for weeks on end. And it was hard, when you're not, you used to hit the ball, but left back is on the floor more, isn't it? It's not really much in the air. So centre half is a lot in the air. So yeah, they made me a centre half down Gillingham. I'd like to have said I'd have done better in my career, but it is what it is,
But even at Stevenage, you went on to make near enough 200 appearances for the club there. So did you see yourself getting to that many when you were signed?
No, not at all. I didn't know if I'd last. Well, I signed a 3-year deal at the time, but
yeah,
you never know, do you? I'm not one to blow wind up my backside or anything. So you're only good as your last game. And I done quite well at Welling, but when I come back from Hong Kong, wasn't too good because I was trying to adapt to the way they play in this country is so different than in Hong Kong. So no, I don't think you can look down that road so far. I think I was always trying to stay focused, to try and make it pro. I was still wanting to be a pro footballer.
And wanted to play, league football, I'm sure as well. And I'm sure that's something that in your career you didn't really get to play league football, did you? I think did you play a little bit for Gillingham in the league?
Yeah, I played back. We played for Gillingham for a while.
Yeah,
and I had a good spell there with Glenn Roder signed me pro, and then we played. Then I had Mike Flanagan took over from Glenn Roder, and I did have a good spell there. I played 9 games in a row. I think I got about 4 or 5 man of the matches out of them.
That's good. Yeah, that is really good.
Games, and then they couldn't drop me, so I was centre half. Then I played in a 3 on the left, and then I played in a 5 on a wing back. They put me left wing back.
Yeah.
So they couldn't. I was just playing really well, and then Mike got the sack with a young team. Mike got the sack, and then Neil Smiley took over, and we couldn't. And he had to get the old folk back to try and the older players, experienced players, which is fair enough. I didn't fit in his plan. I was playing ever so well, especially for my age. I was confident. I was loving it.
All right, and then you mentioned earlier about being a manager at Margate for a while as well. So what was that like, trying your hand out in management?
Yeah, it was good. Stressful. It was more work than what I thought. I think I always said in management, I think it's like having a baby. You never know until you have that child exactly what it's all about, and it's the same as managing. Until you were actually a manager, and you've got that budget every week, and you've got the commitments, you've got to try and find that training ground. Did have a lot of money down there. I had to find a training ground, pay for it most of the time, get the money back later on.
Yeah.
But very difficult to do that and run a firm at the time. I think my firm suffered, but I was more concentrating, obviously, in football. It was my love and my passion. And I had a lot of friends down there as well with us. Obviously, we brought Mike Flanagan as my number 2 for the first season.
Yeah.
And Steve McKim for Gravesend, great player, was me number 2 for the second season. And I think he took over as manager when I left. But no, I had a good spell down there. And obviously got good love for the club down Margate. They're a great crowd. And I think we gave them a lot of good performances. And we played some good football. Good football.
All right. And then we'll move on, actually. So What would you say you learned, from becoming a manager as well? And, are you still involved in football at all at the moment?
Yeah, I only play the vets for Bow Street Runners at the Warren, which is in Hayes, which is the top league. What have I learned? Don't take it for granted. I think.
Yeah,
definitely. I think that's the big one. I think if you can, what's the percentage of boys coming through? There was probably more people probably trying to play football then. You didn't have your computers, you didn't have your PlayStations or your Xbox.
Yeah,
a lot of us were on the streets playing football as we weren't a lot to do, was there? So more people probably wanted to be a footballer then. So the percentage was probably harder to be a pro footballer then as well. So yeah, I think just definitely don't take it for granted.
All right, and then we just got not too many more, just the last couple really. Would you ever consider coming back to Stevenage if there was kind of some opportunity or some role there for you?
I don't know what they'd have. I think they'd have me boot boy or something, or put out the kit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We're times change, and I think when you move on, and obviously we've got two quite successful companies at the moment. It's going really well, and I've got two girls and focus on them as well. So I don't know if I'd have any time. I don't think there's any time at all.
Fair enough. And actually, just want to go on to this as well. So, how was it for you when you saw that the supporters had named the fanzine after you as well?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I know, man. I think, is it me or is it just my surname? Because it's a bit funny, It's
Don't Run Trot was the name of the fanzine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what's it called now?
I don't know what it is these days. Even if we're still producing one.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No. It's mad. Yeah. It's probably didn't realise at the time because there's probably too much happening. But yeah, mad. That's the bonus for having a bit of a dodgy surname, really. I guess.
It was quite. I'm sure it was quite cool for you though, to have that. In 1999, you won the Player of the Year as well. So what was it like to get personal accolades for the club as well as team ones?
Yeah, it was amazing that year. That was a Newcastle year. We got I got all 4 awards, which was I think on managers, player, paper, sponsor. I think did I deserve it? I don't know really. I think we had a lot of good players, probably deserved it as much as me. But no, amazing, great end to a great season. I was very fortunate, very lucky. Very lucky. I remember that night when the presentation was going ahead in the social club.
Yeah,
it was great. It was great, and obviously didn't expect anything, and you're going up there, and it's a shock, and then you're
winning everything.
Yeah, when what do you say? What do you say? But we had a great rapport with the manager and the supporters. Sports were a big thing down there. And I think the good thing about it is when the players went in behind the bar after the game, we would talk to the supporters. Yeah. Because why not? They paid. Like I say, there's no levels; they're the same as you. So, it was an honour to speak to them at the same time. But
all right,
lucky season.
Yeah, it was a great time for the club, and I think actually that's probably going to be enough. I think we'll wrap it up there. So first of all, big thank you to Sam Sodji as well for helping us to arrange this. So big thanks to Sam. Obviously, I spoke to Sam last week as well, and you can hear that one back on the SoundCloud link, or just by going back through the Facebook or the Twitter pages and stuff like that as well. And of course, thank you to Robin for taking your time out this evening, and best of luck with everything that you've got going on with your companies and your businesses with Sam, and hopefully you're able to be successful with everything that you've got going on and whatever's happening for you.
I think as long as you're in health, I think that's the most important thing at the moment, isn't it, really? So, anything else is a bonus. But sorry about my camera that's gone off. I do apologize.
That's fine, mate. No, not to worry. It's going to go out as a format on SoundCloud anyway, so that's fine. Just briefly, just because there is one more that I didn't touch on. You were signed for a fee of around £8,000 as well. So, Did you have sort of any added pressure on that? You know, signing for a fee at that point in time when you signed at Stevenage?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, I didn't even know how much it was at the time. They didn't tell me a lot about it at all. I think Kevin Howes had a relationship. Kevin Howes was manager at Welling at the time. He had a relationship with Paul Fairclough, and he was always pushing for that. So I think I was out of contract, and I wasn't going to sign because I knew obviously I just wanted that next step. And I think obviously with a couple of clubs coming in, I could have gone for a free. Yeah. So we was trying to push that to go for Stevenage, and I think they made the arrangements like, well, listen, we give you this X amount, but we want that player. Because I did have the couple of clubs that are coming in for me. So, yeah, I think at that age, I made captain at the age of 22, and I just turned 22 as well. No, it was 23, actually. I was 22 when I come back.
Right.
23 I was, 23 when I was captain. I think it's big pressure. It's, what is £8,000 now?
It's nothing really now in this kind of day and age, yeah.
But a little bit of money then, and a lot of money for Welling, probably helped them out a lot. We had great lads down Welling as well. Great team spirit, which we stayed in the league that year, which was like a win in the league, ready to stay in that league.
That's right. And then the only thing really in terms of Stevenage was, of course, we were unable to get promotion, and of course that's what we all would have loved at the end of the day. And it's great to now be an established Football League club and to still be in the Football League as well. So, hopefully you can, have a little look out for some of the results this season. And, of course, I don't know when it's going to be safe to do so in terms of, anyone coming back to games and stuff. But, I'm sure you'll always be welcome down at the Lamex.
Yeah. No, it's I will keep an eye. It's just when have they got the crowd? When is the crowd coming back? Are they coming?
Not too sure yet. No, not too sure yet. I'm not too sure. Another month or two, I think, at least.
They must be feeling the pinch as well. Obviously, no crowd coming back. I don't know if the clubs are surviving. I really don't. At the lower end, I don't know they're doing it. You've got to have a rich chairman, and not too frugal for that. I think to get by. But I think you definitely grab a businessman as a chairman. So is he still there? The chairman.
Phil's still in charge. Yeah, Phil's still in charge.
Yeah, I had a good relationship with Phil. I got on very well with him. And funny guy. I think he was nice to me. And I didn't have bad words. I didn't have anything bad to say about him. Got on really well with Phil. And of course, he bought the club out of when it was in dire straits, and I think he bought it for £1, didn't he? Because he got it out of debt. Yeah,
he bought it off of Victor Green, wasn't it? Was it Victor Green? Yeah.
He took the money. He done a runner with the money from the Newcastle era, and left us right in the.
I remember very well. And then Phil bought it, and Phil's been there for 20, maybe even 30 or something years now. Yeah.
Really, is it?
19 to 1999, 2000. Yeah, he's still there. So about 20 odd years. Yeah.
I remember when he first came in and he told us he bought it for £1, and we should all be grateful because we got our jobs. We was like, we just got replayed in the FA Cup, 4th round. We got a club at the time, but he sort of made his mark. He said, this is my way now, and this is how it's going to be. Completely different chairman than Victor Green.